What's up, everybody? Welcome to Relevant Rants. Pumped to be here with our boy Boomer Bennett and my good friend Tom Touchstone.
Hey, excited to be here with Boomer. Boomer, you're looking sharp.
Yeah,
I think my wife says all black look good on me, so
that's right. So let's jump right in, guys. Which one do you want to bring up first, Tom?
Hey, I want to go to this first one because I love it when other people say it, and we don't have to say it.
Right?
Yeah.
Boom. Let's bring it
on the street, and he has the power to get people inside and get them the medical care they need. And instead, he just kind of prances around,
injecting him.
It's wrong.
No, we'll keep going.
It's inappropriate. Like in psychology, we talk about having appropriate boundaries. And California is just a place that's been transgressing boundaries. It's not appropriate to sleep on the sidewalk. It should never be allowed. It's not appropriate to sleep in the park. It should never be allowed. It's not appropriate to steal $950 worth of items from the drugstore. We're losing all of our flagship department stores in San Francisco. Nordstrom's moved out. Old Navy moved out. Gap moved out. Both him and his predecessor, they come in as governor, and the first thing they want to do is be president. They haven't done anything to help the state. He's going to go to China, thinks he's involved in foreign policy. That's not the role of the governor.
Isn't that so true? I mean, if you need to have a platform to stand on, and if California is that platform, it's a disaster. It's a wreck. I don't care what you say about it, how you're trying to turn it. I love the debate that was a couple weeks ago between DeSantis, where he completely shredded Newsom. I mean, Newsom just has that slick Willie smile and that little scoff, and I think he kind of shocked Newsom when he brought up some details maybe Newsom didn't know. So Boomer, did you see the poop map of San Francisco?
The poop map, the poop map will go down in history as probably the best, gotcha moment of any debate, presidential or otherwise, bro. Because it's real. That ain't something he made up. That is, if you live in California, you've been in San Francisco, that's a real thing, bro.
I looked up the poop map. and if you haven't looked it up, look it up. And it will tell you as you zoom in, it gives you the whole area up there. But I zoomed in on San Francisco, and there's a cluster of that little poop emoji, and it says that this poop cluster represents 32,972 incidents. So I think that 32,000, let's just say round it up, 33,000 areas are pieces of poop in just downtown San Francisco. That's a lot of crap. Right.
and my thing is this: it's hard for me to believe that I don't even know if Newsom knew that was a thing, bro. I don't even know, because I'm sure he's not paying people to go count the poop, right? I'm sure when DeSantis pulled this up, Newsom was like, "What the hell is going on?" Like,
it's interesting whose job that is,
I mean, listen, I would love to know. Is it an app? Is it a website? Like,
it's an app.
On the show. Let's get them on the show. Let's get the poop counter on the show.
Let's do it.
So I love it when other people say it, because Forbes magazine did a thing on it, and they just said that the available data is the results of residents reporting to the city. 311 dispatches. So I guess the residents will go out and go, "Hey, got a new one over here."
Good.
Hey, let's put this in perspective, okay?
Please.
I got a big dog and I got a little dog. I take them on walks. I have to take a baggie to collect the poop that they deposit in my neighborhood. Because you know what happens if I don't? The neighbors have the neighbors app, and they get on there. So my wife questioned me last week. She goes, "Hey, are you and Oliver walking?" And I have a large dog. And I go, "We are." and they say, well, there's some dogs pooping on the in the yards and no one's picking it up. I go, it's not me. I go, I go, she goes, well, they're gonna plaster this person and the dog all over our neighborhood app. And I was like, honey, trust me. My wife was worried that my dog and I were going to show up. And I go, I take a bag, and it has for my dog. He's a Cane Corso, and he's 155 pounds, and so I have to have the gallon size baggie. Because if he goes, I got to put my hands in it and I got to scoop around it and flip it inside out.
Listen,
and I'm just saying, so the people don't have to do this. They're not required to pick up their poop. I mean, it's okay. Let's say Newsom says, hey, you can poop on the street. But you got to pick it up.
It isn't
right.
My thing is this, bro. If we know that there are individuals who are homeless who don't have a place to go use the restroom, Newsom, provide some porta potties, bro.
right.
Like for real. What a porta potty costs? What, $30 a day or whatever? I don't even know what the cost. You're spending money at a dumb rate anyway. You might as well provide porta potties for the individuals that you refuse to help out of their situation, bro. So please, bro,
right.
I don't want to jump ahead of us.
No. We're still talking about this. This is the right spot to bring this up. So we're talking about the Newsom and the spending money out of control, right?
Yes, sir.
And this was something that hit me, and we were talking, Boomer, about the cost of groceries, right? And for feeding a family, like you and I both got large families, dude. Yours is larger than mine too.
Boomer's going for a basketball team.
Right. But the costs are crazy, and it's like we're at a point now, and 2020 was the first year that it hit, but people are leaving, and the rate of population in California is in decline. Ever since really 2020, and as many people are bouncing as possible, but the they can't even afford to pay their bills at this point. The deficit is so out of control.
Well, I think U-Haul gave Newsom the Salesman of the Year award for. Hey, I'm telling you, this is serious because I've got a lot of friends that are moving out of California, and it costs an arm and a leg to rent one way out of California. But I had a friend that did this. He was moving from Florida to California. Don't know why his reason was. Yeah, I do. But they asked him if he would, on the back of his U-Haul, if he would haul a trailer back to California, they would give him, I think it was $2,000 off his rental. Right. It just to haul
you can't even get a U-Haul. Tom, what's it cost to move out of California? It's like minimum $5,000 just to move your stuff.
Yeah, it's interesting. Well, I like the poop map is when DeSantis brought up the book Gender Queer because it was a big deal. It was a big deal for Newsom to say you're banning books, and DeSantis talked about parental rights. He says, no, I'm standing up for parental rights because people don't want this stuff taught in the classroom. And there again, my wife's a public school administrator, so I asked her if she'd bring a copy of that home for me to read. And it's as bad as they say it is. He said, he's blocked out areas that he couldn't put up on on the debate because of the regulations. But I saw it in its full glory. I saw, but it's ridiculous that even we've seen the YouTube videos where a person brings it and opens it and reads it in front of a school board, and the police officer walks over and picks it up and takes it because you can't say those words in the public hearing, but you can say it in a third grader's classroom. And I think those are obvious things that I think the debates are bringing out, which makes Newsom look ridiculous. And if anybody ever runs this guy for president or votes for him, man, I've got some serious questions I'd love to ask you guys. Right.
So it looks like we lost Boomer. Maybe, hopefully he comes back in a second. But Tom, we got plenty to talk about either way.
Yeah. So you want to jump into our next clip?
Yeah. Well, this was the thing we were talking about before, right?
The truck crash disrupts Christmas parade. That was in Bakersfield.
Bakersfield. It hit national news, but dude, this was a big deal, right?
This is big deal for our 511 media group because
it affects people close to us.
The person that got hit, his name is Arnie Rios.
Well, that was one of them. There was 3 people.
Well, I know, but the one I know about is Arnie. So we'll got to pray for all 3.
Yeah.
But Arnie is a Vietnam vet, and he was in the Marine Recon in Vietnam. And the story that came to me is he saw the car coming and he pushed his wife aside, and that came from his daughter.
Yeah. Well, you said
Rachel Rios.
He broke both of his legs.
Well, that's the last thing I heard last night.
That's crazy.
Last thing I heard last night. And of course, even Boomer said that he heard that it was terrorist, but it wasn't terrorist. I mean,
no.
There was a guy with DUI, so let's don't get that out there. We didn't say it's terrorist. People were saying it was, but
there was also, the way the news runs, right? There were so many crazy things. First it was, there was 5 kids that were hit and everything, but it ended up being all adults. And, we were able to get the truth on that, but it was just some crazy, craziness going on. And really, the end of the day, it was just stupidity, right? Because you don't want to pay. I said to my dad, I said, the guy didn't want to pay $20 for an Uber. He's going to end up paying $20,000 in legal fees.
Well, I hope the state of California allows our DA, which is Cindy Zimmer, which I believe she will prosecute.
Yeah, well, she should.
Yeah, well, she's already prosecuted drunk drivers.
Well, Ludavia got hit by that drunk driver when she was pregnant with my oldest, right? And she's still every month, like as if it was anything to us, he's paying the restitution. We get $15 a month on that.
Wow.
Crime is another big thing in California and America. I mean, it's just something that is out of control, and I think people are tired of it. I do believe people are starting to catch a clue. I really do. I'm hoping so. I am hoping so.
Yeah.
So, hey, we got another thing that we just want to talk about today, and it's immigration. And it's really interesting because I do like Jesse Waters, because he's bringing in a group that denies immigration, that our borders are open and they saw for their own eyes. So let's take a look at it.
Yeah.
They've just reported that the border is wide open. CNN sent a crew down to the border near San Diego and visited a guy whose backyard's a migrant highway. The guy is like an illegal alien crossing guard.
No.
Even CNN was shocked.
I just have to allow them to go through my property. Where are you from?
Turkey. This is video shot by Brian Silvas, whose property is up against the U.S.-Mexico border. Silvas wanted to show me where he believes the migrants are crossing the border into his property.
He believes.
As soon as we arrived, we encountered about a dozen walking right in.
It's a pretty simple cross over into the U.S. And like that family, it's not that hard. They just step in and they're here.
Just an hour after we left Silvas' property,
they can't deny it no more.
Camera we had set up at the location captured another group of migrants, much larger than the last, entering the U.S.
So our very own stupid son of a border doozy, Bill Malugin, has been reporting this for years. What took CNN so long to figure it out?
Right.
Not everyone's figured it out.
One common Republican claim is that the U.S. has a, quote, open border under Joe Biden. That is just not true.
And the border is not open at all. That is something that is peddled as a talking point, but it's not true.
I want to be very clear. Our borders are not open.
We have a secure border.
So Brian Silvas lives near San Diego and has migrants crossing through his backyard like they're contractors. So when we saw the video, Bri, those migrants didn't appear unfazed at all. How did you perceive that?
They're not fazed. It's like they're walking down to the store, to the corner market. They know where they're going. They just ask which way, and I just point them to the direction of the illegal staging area that they have. They have anywhere from 50 to 500 out there at any time.
500.
And the border is not secure. We do have an open border right now because they're just walking in. And, we spend millions and billions of dollars of securing other borders in other countries before we secure ours.
Was CNN at all taken aback by what it observed?
Spending money on other people's borders.
Yeah, they were. They couldn't believe it.
But because we've been showing this footage for about 3 years.
I know, it shocks me because that's what I said is like, you can go on TikTok or any social media and find thousands of videos like mine. You know, they're everywhere. This is a crisis. It's an invasion. I don't believe they're coming here to pick strawberries and lettuce. I mean, you know, there's something going on here, and I mean, it's bigger than
we're importing voters.
But there's definitely something going on.
It's a huge situation, and you know, we don't walk across our neighbor's lawn here in the United States that casually. But apparently people from other countries can just walk across our lawn like that and not give a damn. Listen, be safe out there. Thanks for bringing this to CNN's attention. You're a hero for finally forcing CNN to wake up and report the truth at the border. All right? Happy Thanksgiving. I know it's...
They hate to be exposed, don't they, Boomer?
Well, I mean, the thing is they can't get enough people in the U.S. that are citizens that have been here, you know, as long as we've been here, that will vote Democrats. So they just got to import the voters because, you know, are there some crazies that vote for them? Sure, but
like on our show last week, we showed one of the senators from New York having to. First, he denied the fact that non-citizens are voting in municipal elections.
Yep.
And then when he was corrected, he said yes. I mean, they have no problem lying. I mean, there again, I think the one thing that's common with all three of us, we have the Holy Spirit in us.
That's right.
And I'm not saying they don't, but the Holy Spirit for us convicts us of when we don't tell the truth. And they have no problem not telling the truth.
That's not only do they have not a problem telling the truth, bro. This is an orchestrated scheme, bro. This isn't like, oh, by happenstance, our borders just happen to be open during this presidency, bro. This is planned, orchestrated, and they're trying to get as many people over the border before the election because they know there's a strong possibility that they may lose the presidency. So they're trying to flood America as quick as possible. And the sad part about it, and I don't want to say this, but this is the truth. I guarantee it, bro. A day will come when the culture will shift and the media and companies will put billions of dollars to make illegals voting members. And I promise you, the Republican Party will do nothing.
You know what's crazy, Boomer?
They will not fight. They will. You will have your average crazy Christian conservatives who are on the hill. They will fight, but for the majority of that party, bro, they will allow it to happen because the conditions in which it is right now is because the majority of the RNC didn't step up and fight for America, bro.
Well, it's interesting because we have somebody in Bakersfield, and he's a good friend of mine, Kevin McCarthy, who just resigned. He's resigning, and you can say what you want about Kevin, but I know the man personally. I know the man's a God-fearing person. I know his wife Judy. She actually sits on a board with Mike and I that help mental health for first responders, and Kevin always supports it. And I can't blame him looking at what the Republican Party kind of did with him. And I'm not saying it's going to go down in history as the only Speaker of the House that got fired, but I do know a lot about the man. And as Mike and I were talking about last night, I just think he's fed up with the Republican Party and the crap that he has to deal with and what he dealt with. I'm not putting words in his mouth. We're going to have him on the show,
bro. Listen, I don't, and we can have this too. I'm a delegate for the Republican Party in California.
Oh, I love that.
So I have a level of access in San Diego a couple months ago, bro. And this is sick. It's sad, bro. In San Diego, it wasn't San Diego. It was, I believe it was Orange County. There was a fight to remove the platform for the Republican Party in California, bro. They wanted to take husband and wife out of the platform. They wanted to take religion God out of the platform. They wanted to make it as gender neutral as possible. And there were OGs that stopped even being a part of this who were conservative Republicans that came out of the closet, bro, and was like, this is not about to happen. But there's a new regime of Republicans, bro, who are trying to remove the Christian conservative platform in California, in our state, and make it just this purple nuance. And they're thinking individuals aren't paying attention. And then you had old school Republicans, California Republicans coming out the woodworks and voting against it, bro. It was a beautiful display of what happens when we're really threatened. People who come out of the woodworks, people that were like, who is this person? Who is this person? It was old heads there. I'm talking about, they were like, bro, once we found out like they were really trying to remove man, woman, and child. I mean, man, wife, and child, and they were trying to make it this neutral parenting. I got a copy of it, you guys. We got to do a show and just go.
Oh, we should.
Yeah,
and see how sad the state of the RNC is. And I mean, again, there are still faithful individuals who are part of the Republican Party. However, we have seen, bro, for the last decade, bro, the Republican Party has been on this downslope of really creating a uni party, which is really sad for those.
Well, Ruben, we love being involved with you at Turning Point USA and Turning Point Faith because we believe in what Charlie's doing. We really do. And what you're doing in the state of California, because you are the regional manager for the state of California for Turning Point Faith. And I can't think of a better person to be in charge of that. Well, we're going to move on, too, because I want to get to your stuff, Boomer. And we have a couple things that you brought us. All right. Here we go.
What's going on?
Well, technical. There you go. Hey.
Restart this.
Okay. We're trying to bring you guys a little more sophistication with our Relevant Rant show. And
and remember, you guys, we're doing this live, so have some grace. You know what I mean? We're trying to bring you guys an awesome
grown men pretending to be women every day. Totally fine.
Oh, you got to start back from the beginning.
All right.
Mike's running the camera.
A little kid pretending he's an Indian at a Chiefs game? Totally wrong. Grown men pretending to be women every day? Totally fine.
This is the state of our union, you guys.
Yeah, it is.
This is the state of our union. A little boy they're attempting to crucify this little boy for celebrating his team by wearing a black and red face for the Chiefs. And the thing about it, bro, this is the sad part about it. This is is that the media has no problem. They don't have an age limit to the individuals that they'll try to defame.
Yes.
Now, let's take this a step further. The left always pretends as if it's conservative principles that has transgender and transitioning kids at a suicide rate and self-harming. They try to blame our dialogue and our way of thinking for the suicide rate. And of course, the studies show the complete opposite. But they try to say it's conservative principles and ideas and ideologue that causes that. Who would have been the cause if this little boy would have self-harmed himself?
Yeah.
Yeah. I think it's pretty obvious, evident.
Yes. If the left, the media, social media, all of it came from the left, bro. They attempted to crucify this young boy, and I praise God that his mother and father had the resolve to instill in this young man that these kind of things happen, because this could have went the complete opposite way, bro. This could have went the complete opposite way, bro. He could have been so unequipped to deal with this level of pressure, bro, and did something, committed harm against himself. But instead, him and his family has been on the news, bro, making their rotations around, bro, saying how amazing this young man is, bro. But if anything would have happened to him, bro, it would have been the same creepy thing that they say that the conservative Christians caused. They would have caused the same thing. And then what's illogical to me, the state of our union, bro, you have grown. I was about to cuss. You have grown. you have grown men. I'm talking about, bro, there are 60, 70-year-olds who are pretending to be in teenage drag.
Yeah.
Right.
Going to elementary schools. They're listen, you guys. I don't know. For those of you guys who are listening who aren't aware of what's going on, and you guys may see it on the news or see it. I want to give you guys an accurate picture of what's going on with this drag stuff, y'all. The drag audience is not adults, y'all. If y'all don't know this already, let me give y'all something. Let me convict y'all real quick so to make
the
sure
target audience, who they're targeting.
Yeah, I'm gonna let y'all know who their target audience is. When you look at the drag universe, their audience is not other grown men and women, y'all.
Right.
It ain't grown men and women, y'all. Their target audience is elementary school students.
Yes.
There's a word for that, Boomer.
You didn't know already.
There's a word for that, bro.
Oh, it's called pedophile champion.
Yes.
That's right.
Can we please say it?
You know, Boomer, we did a show on, and we had our good friend Angelo Frazier on it because Bakersfield's Fox Theater, the historical Fox Theater, is still bringing the drag queen Christmas to Bakersfield, and we just said, not in this small town. We do, Angelo's out there, drumming up support for prayer to kind of get this away, but they actually wanted it and had it last year. It was open for all ages. Now, if you're out there and you're going to take your kid to see something like this, to me, that's child abuse.
I agree.
I mean, that goes back to even our state of California, which is the abortion trafficking state of the union, because anybody can bring their kids here and have them aborted. Or if you want to, a minor wants to flee to California because you feel you want to be a different gender than you already are, which really is a made up word because it's a different sex than you already are, and you want to have surgery, you can come to California and they'll protect you and they'll make it harder for your parents to find you. What is wrong with that?
Well, all of the.
No,
go ahead, Boomer.
No, go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say that's exactly why we're doing everything we're doing at 511.
Yes.
It's just because somebody's got to take a stand. And someone asked me the other day, well, what are you doing? I'm like, I'm doing everything I possibly can. I've designed my entire business around taking a stand, and we're trying to do that in every way we can. Boomer, with you, with Turning Point, with JFU, all of those things, because somebody has to take a stand. Because you mentioned earlier, they think people aren't paying attention. Well, sadly, there is a large percentage of people that aren't paying attention.
There used to be a saying that you don't have to take the lid off a sewer to know it stinks. Well, we want to take the lid off the sewer.
Yeah. And I want to make sure that individuals are really hearing us, because this is where the left tries to distort our meaning in our heart and our desires. For the individuals out there who are dealing with gender confusion, for the individuals out there who are part of the LGBTQ community, for the individuals out there who are atheists or whatever, our heart is for you.
Yes.
Our heart.
That's right.
Our heart will always be for you. But what you have to understand is this: you think just because individuals are supporting you that they have your best interest at hand.
No.
That's not the reality.
Yeah.
That's not the reality. Just because the government is willing to spend any kind of money on you to help you, that does not mean they have your best interest at hand. And the sad part about it, and this is going way overboard, is the reason they have your best interest at hand because the money that is spent, you are a new demographic. You are a new target demographic for
That's right.
You're a new target demographic for pharma. You're a new target demographic for companies. That's why they're spending so much money on you, because you're in return, you're going to pay them.
We were talking about I was talking with a friend the other day, and he brought up a great point. The scariest words you'll ever hear is, "I'm from the government and I'm here to help." Right?
Oh, literally. And my thing is this, you guys. I was talking to some individuals yesterday, and they were talking about conflict and how they were trying to make sure that, you know, the course of action that they take doesn't cause conflict. And I told them, I said, listen, team, listen. The reason our country is the way it is because the men who founded it made sure that they had conversations that were going to cause conflict. Conflict is necessary for growth, and conflict is necessary to bring things back to where they were originally was. So stop running from conflict. And for a lot of men and women of God, and for a lot of individuals who are part of the LGBT plus community, bro, we're running from necessary conflict. And you know who stands in the gap? The government. The government is the one who stands in the gap. They see that the conversation between these two parties are so far apart. We're just going to stand in the middle of it, and we're going to provide you what they can't provide you. We're gonna be your support. We're going to be your heartbeat and make sure that you get everything you got coming. And again, listen, for the individuals who are part of the LGBT plus community, listen, I promise you, just because the government is supporting you does not mean they have your best interest at hand. Please, even if you're still going to, you know, be a part of that, at least understand the difference between support and your best interest. They're two different.
I had my annual physical down at Cedar Sinai this week, and I went to see my doctor, and I've been seeing him since
in LA.
And so he's been he started at UCLA, and so he's down at Cedar Sinai now. And I walked in, and his nurse was wearing, you know, kind of a Muslim apparel, covering her hair, and he's Jewish. And so, as you know, she was treating me, drawing my blood and stuff. She told me, she goes, you know, I'd like to meet his older patients that have followed him from UCLA. And I go, why is that? She goes, they love him. And I go, why do? I mean, I've been with him for 25 years. Wow. And I said, so what do you think about him? And so, cause I'm interested in conversation. Yep. So and so she told me, she goes, I've been with him a year, and I see what you see in him. This is a special doctor. And she goes, I've grown to love him. Wow. And I go, that's really interesting, because I mean, I know that both of you are going to stand on two sides of this subject of the Gaza thing. And she goes, you know what? We're human beings. We both can have faith in different things, but as human beings, we can get along. And there again, it points to exactly what you said, Boomer. It's the government and it's the agendas that get in the way of people having relationships, having conversations. And I think it's a lot of like about taking a scab off a wound that won't heal. Sometimes you got to peel the scab off to let the wound heal, and you have to put some salve on it. And I do believe that's what dialogue brings to us. It helps expose truth from fiction or truth from lies.
Which is why the enemy hates dialogue, bro. Which is why when we go across the country, we go to colleges, bro. You guys see it all the time, man. College and the high schools, the first thing that the left does is try to yell, scream, because they know. Just like I told you guys, the guy that we had at San Jose State, he knew if he listened to Charlie Kirk, that Charlie Kirk would sway him, bro. Mm-hmm. He knows reason and logic is the answer, but he'd rather be rapping his feelings and be swayed and live according to his feelings as opposed to reason and logic. So for us, for those of you guys who are against our values, I promise us three men right here, although you are against us, I promise we will continue to fight for you.
That's right. Yes. Amen.
Amen. Boomer, hey, thank you. I love bringing you on. I love our relationship. I love our connection. Yes, collaboration.
Let's go. I appreciate you guys too, man. Continue to stay awesome in Christ, man. You guys have an awesome weekend, bro.
You guys too, and we'll see you guys next week. And Boomer will be talking to you, and we're all going to TP America together.
Let's go.
Yeah.
Have a great day, y'all. God bless.
Mike, been a good deal.
That's right.